Hey guys, it's Press, and it's been months since I've had guests. I wrote a song about that. Anyway, this is the ROG Phone 3, the 2020 gaming smartphone by Asus. Gaming smartphones are stupid! I'll get to you later. Let's check out what the ROG Phone 3 is about. So, in terms of design, it has the same shape, size and dimensions as the ROG Phone 2. This time around, we have a glass back. Now, it doesn't feature wireless charging, but the glass certainly makes it stick to the hand more. The ROG 2 was big, heavy, and the matte finish made it slippery, so here I appreciate the upgrade. The glass back also reveals the cool heatsink underneath, and of course we have the RGB lit ROG logo on the back. Look, I know it's cheesy, but I would be lying if I said that I did not enjoy playing with that. You can set the light to be strobing, breathing, flowing through colors, or just have one solid glow. Over here on the side we have this proprietary connector which allows the ROG Phone 3 to connect to its accessories, most of them sold separately. In the box we get this fan, the Aero Active Cooler 3, which will keep your phone cool as you're running it in full throttle. In fact, you can't activate the full power of the ROG Phone 3 unless you have the fan on. The Aero Active Cooler 3 comes with an integrated kickstand and it has its own RGB lighting, which even lets you mix two different colors together. Cool! Onto the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about the display of the ROG Phone 3, and it's kind of a disappointment. It's a big 6.6 OLED panel with a, get this, 144Hz refresh rate. It has a 270Hz touch sampling rate and Asus says a 25 millisecond touch delay. These are some record-breaking numbers there for sure, and I really feel like this phone is super responsive as I use it. It's just a pleasure to tap and swipe to your heart's content. Now let's just take a moment to appreciate this technological feat. Because I'm about to say some bad things. The imagery of this OLED panel, it's not the best. First of all, it doesn't really go bright enough to be comfortably used on a summer day, but worse yet, it doesn't go nearly dim enough to be comfortable to use in complete darkness.
Oh, Press, you're nitpicking.
Okay, yeah, these could be small complaints, but this screen does have a pretty bad black crush issue. Basically, if you lower the brightness below 50%, you'll notice that the blacks become these weird dark green blotches, and anything that's supposed to be a smooth transition into darkness becomes clear-cut. Now, this doesn't appear to be a problem in games, and it doesn't really show throughout the interface, but it did kind of detract from my Netflix binging sessions. I mean, it's an OLED panel which supports HDR10+. One would think, wow, that's gonna be some amazing contrast with lots of shades weaving in and out. Nope, it just goes shadow. The issue is least apparent when you set the display to 60Hz, then progressively gets worse as you go through 90, 120 and then 144Hz. Okay, other than that, yes, the display is extremely responsive and colors are okay. Our unit in particular has a tealish tint covering it, but it's fine. There are a bunch of color profiles to pick from, so you can better customize your experience. Not flagship grade, but an above average screen. On to hardware. What makes this a gamer smartphone?
There's no such thing as a gamer smartphone!
Shut up! The Asus ROG Phone 3 is the first handset with a Snapdragon 865 Plus that we can get our hands on. Our unit here has 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage. It's fast, it's blazing fast, it's overkill fast. There's nothing I could throw at it that would slow it down. Connectivity over Wi-Fi and 4G was also stable anywhere I went. If you're paying for performance, you're definitely getting performance here. The battery is a gargantuan 6000 mAh cell which keeps the lights on, get it? Keeps the lights on for quite a while. Now, of course, it will last longer if you disable the always on display and the RGB light on the back, but I like those features. And even with heavy usage in gaming, the ROG Phone 3 still lasted me a day. If you're running low on juice, use the included fast charger and you get from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. The speakers have also been upgraded. Not only do the drivers have more magnets than before, Asus partnered with audio optimizer DRAC to create a bigger, boomier sound. The ROG Phone 3 employs a number of algorithms to add false overtones to create the illusion of more bass and also dabbles in spatial emulation. The phone speakers sound bigger and bassier than you would assume from a small phone. They still can't quite escape that smartphone sound, but they do sound fantastic for games and pretty good for YouTube and Netflix watching. Now, the big deal here is the shoulder buttons. They are these ultrasonic pads that can get extremely sensitive. You can set them up to taste and even split each one of them and get a total of 4 fake buttons. These make FPS gaming a breeze as you can actually use them to aim and shoot, sort of emulating a controller experience. Yeah, you can get something similar with these gamer clip-ons that you can buy on Amazon, but nothing beats having them integrated into the phone. Trying out Bluetooth controllers with the ROG Phone 3 was not a great experience. The DualShock 4 lagged terribly and the Stratus Duo, well, it worked fine, but it's a gamble whether your game of choice will recognize it or not. But that's not entirely Asus' fault. Android is still pretty funky with Bluetooth controllers, despite the fact that it claims that it supports all of them. When it comes to software, you've got this very light Android 10 reskin. There are a few gamer theme packs, you can just choose classic mode and your phone will look like a vanilla Android device. You just have these couple of add-ons by Asus, like this battery manager, which will report on battery health, your charging habits, and allow you to really control and slow down the depreciation of your battery over time. There's also the Armoury Crate and the Game Genie, which will turn your phone into a small Android-powered console. You have all your games here on this list, your overclocking controls are over there, and you can even set it up to record the last 30 seconds of your gameplay so you can save that bragging clip with just a tap. Let's talk about these cameras, shall we? The ROG Phone 3 has a 64 megapixel main camera which is set to take 16 megapixel photos by default. When in this mode, the sensor's pixels are binned together in groups of 4, making for a pixel size of 1.6 microns. To put it simply, that's a pretty big pixel by smartphone camera standards. A bigger pixel means more light, which means less noise, which means better details. I didn't expect much from the ROG Phone 3's camera. I mean, it's a gaming smartphone. Who cares about the camera, right? Well, it's actually pretty good. Not as good as your iPhones, Galaxies or Pixels, but pretty good. The ROG Phone 3 handles dynamics great. You can have the sun blaring into a shot with some shadows cast on the ground, and it will still pull details out of every area of the shot, nice and balanced. Its colors are close to reality, a bit vivid, a bit oversaturated, but the pictures do come out looking good and ready for social media. Its contrast is a bit flat, so sometimes you will miss fine details and gradients, but otherwise not a bad shooter at all. At night, a slow exposure night mode kicks in, which manages to pull more details from the shadows and make a sharper image overall. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes the long exposure gets some objects or lines to be blurry, but the sensor performs pretty good if you disable night mode and take a normal quick snap instead. Here's another big deal feature. The ROG Phone 3 can record 8K video at 30 FPS. Now that's definitely insane. Not many people out there have the hardware to watch an 8K clip. My 2017 MacBook Pro certainly didn't have a good time with it. Then further down the options you have 4K video at 60 FPS, and if you go down to 4K at 30 FPS or any other option below that, you can enable HDR video recording. So a lot of high quality options here. Videos turn up detailed and colorful as the photos. Again, some colors are a bit unnatural, but overall the clips are impressive. I especially like the stabilization, which completely got rid of the shake in my hands. Then you have a 13 megapixel ultra-wide lens camera for these big shots. It actually gives us a more dramatic contrast and it manages to tame colors better. I liked it. And next to it is a 5 megapixel macro camera. I still don't understand why phone manufacturers are trying to make macro cameras a thing. Maybe just so they can have a triple camera? In any case, the macro camera is okay. Some chromatic aberration appears, details, they're sharp in the center, the background gets plenty of bokeh, but sometimes you may get some luminance noise due to the small sensor. It is what it is. On the front we have a 24 megapixel selfie camera and it certainly takes good selfies. Sharp and detailed, whether you find that flattering or not. And it also handles high dynamics quite well. It would capture my face even if I pointed towards my fully lit window. So, do you need a gaming smartphone? There's a whole new generation growing up with mobile games. First, there are Twitch streams of mobile games going on right now. There are esports tournaments for mobile games where people get paid to play on tablets and phones. The most popular game in the world, for better or worse that's Fortnite, is available on smartphones and tablets. And of course, game streaming, which it's not great right now, but a good option could be coming right behind the corner. Yes, you can game on pretty much every top-tier smartphone, but if you like the aggressive tech aesthetics and the RGB lights, just have at it, all power to you. The ROG Phone 3 costs roughly as much as a Galaxy S20, depending on which variant you get, but it offers the cream of the crop Android processor, which is even overclocked. It gets you a lot of storage and a lot of RAM for that price tier. It has a very responsive display and pretty adequate cameras. Yes, I'm not impressed with the quality of the screen. I do believe that it's this phone's major drawback. Should this keep you from buying it? Probably not. Now, if screen and camera are your top priorities, yeah, consider another device. But if you liked what I said about the performance and responsiveness, the boomy speakers, the huge battery, these gaming triggers, if you want a device that looks kind of different than your Samsungs and LGs and OnePluses, if you just can't take your eyes off of this RGB light, then maybe the ROG Phone 3 is for you. What do you think? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like this review of the ROG Phone 3, do subscribe to our channel to watch more of us. I'll see you next time.